Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. You're welcome to my channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing something really important. I'm basically going to be sharing on how to start and how to build a lucrative career in tech. So there are different reasons why a lot of people want to go into tech, or why a lot of people are actually in tech already, right? For some, it's just that passion for solving problems, that passion of coming up with solutions, or being part of the process of building solutions to solve real user needs. For some other people, it's just that innate love for technology, right? Innate love for gadgets, innate love for, tech generally. And then there's also a category of people that, their reason for wanting to go into tech, or the reason why they're in tech, is actually for the money, right? Because, it's pretty much a known fact that tech, a career in tech is probably one of the most lucrative career path in this age and time, right? So for some people, it's actually passion for money, or wanting to build a career in something where they know they could earn a decent living. And of course, there's a lot of flexibility that comes with working in tech. So irrespective of what your reason is for wanting to go into tech, in this video I'm just going to be sharing practical tips, right? Tips that I know has helped thousands of people. Of course, there's no one cap fits all in terms of how to get started in tech and how to grow your career, right? But then there are like common and best practices that has worked for tons and tons of people. So I'm going to be sharing a complete and very comprehensive guide. I hope the video is not going to be too long, because I'm going to make it as detailed as possible. So everything you need to know from wanting to start, probably at the point where you don't know how you want to get started or what field you want to get started in, or you're at the point where you've learned, you've acquired a couple of skills, and then you're just trying to get your first job. So irrespective of what stage you're in, right, or even if you're already probably working and you're just looking for how to scale up, be able to earn more, be able to just progress in your career, this video is for you. So don't go anywhere. Let's dive right into the video. So the first thing I'm going to be starting with is, how do you decide on what area in tech you want to go into, right? Of course, there are different paths, there are different career paths in tech. You could decide you want to be a front-end developer, you want to be a back-end developer, a mobile app developer, a product designer, a product marketer, a product manager, a data scientist, robotics engineer. Like, there's just so many fields, cybersecurity. There's just a lot of fields in tech, right? So how do you now decide, or how do you know what area is best suited for you, right? So the first thing, or the most important thing I would just suggest, is you do your research, right? On your own, try to do some research, right? So the first thing you want to know is, what are your options? So what is actually available, what is out there, right? So I'm imagining you're watching this video, you have zero background in tech, you pretty much don't know so much about it. But so yeah, there are tools and resources online. You could just, a simple Google search can help. Just check out the different career paths, read up on what they're about, what they entail, and what it takes to get started, right? So the second thing you want to do is, what does it take to get started in each option? So for every option that you have checked out and you say that I might be interested, or this might look like something that I might want to go into, you want to also say, what are the requirements, what does it take to get started in each option? For certain path, the trajectory to get started takes a lot of time. You need to do a lot of learning actually takes much longer. For some other path, it doesn't take that much time to actually learn and to get started, right? So you basically want to do your research on what does it take to get started in each of these options. The next thing you want to check out is, what are the opportunities available? So in product design, product management, software engineering, data science, cybersecurity, what are the opportunities available? The next thing you want to check out, or the next question you want to answer, is, what is the career projection? So if I actually choose this particular field, right, in the next 1 year, where can I find myself? Next 2 years, next 5 years, next 10 years, right? What are the career projections? And one of the ways you can find this is, you can go on LinkedIn, just search, look for people that are already in this field, right? Check their background, check of course you can see all of their work experience, you can see how they're progressing in the ladder. For some people, you see how some people are able to move from a certain role to another role, or transition from one area to another area. So you're able to pretty much expand your horizon and just see what is actually possible, what is achievable, what is attainable. So another thing you want to do research on is, what are the jobs that are available in this career path, right? So you want to check out what's the availability of jobs in this role. Let me put it this way, right? So for software engineering, you want to say, is there a lot of demand for this particular skill, right? For product design, is there a lot of demand for this particular skill? So that, I would suggest you could do your research on your own. You could also try to talk to people that are already in these fields and just get a sense of how available are jobs in this role. You could also go on job search engines, right, or platforms where they post jobs, and you can see, looks like there's a lot of demand for this particular skill. That's something that could actually help in deciding, right? So depending on what your reason for wanting to go into tech is, right? So if it's just passion, say you already have a field that you're really passionate about, all well and good, you go for it, you pursue it. Or you see something that you have innate skills and abilities for, take for example, you just have this thing for managing people, leading people to execute stuff, ideation, following through, leading the team to bring ideas to life, from ideation to completion. Say a role like product management could be for you, or you just have this innate thing for design. You love to just make things look really pretty and stuff. So you could maybe consider something around product design, UI, UX, and the likes, or marketing. And so basically, there are people that based on like your hobbies, your interests, you're able to make a decision on what field is best suited for you. But then there's also a group of people where, and I'm sure if you actually talk to some of the people that are already in tech or that are doing fine, and you just want to ask, well, so how did you know this is what you want to do? For a lot of people, it's just what is available at this time, or what am I exposed to, or what do I have people around me doing that I can easily learn, and it will be easy for me to learn. I have a support structure, there are tons of resources available. And for some other people, it's just what skill is actually in high demand, right? So yeah, you want to check out what jobs are out there. You also want to check out like the job requirements, right? So for each of the different roles that you've been able to, that you're doing your research on, you want to check out what are the job requirements, what does it take to be able to get started, what are the requirements for an entry level role. So that way you're already preparing your mind even before you start acquiring the skills. You know that, oh, for most of the front-end engineering roles that I'm saying, they require a good knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, maybe a framework like React, Vue, Angular. You want to know that upfront, right? So you're already saying the job requirements already. You're already knowing how to structure or how to plan to be able to, everything you need to learn to be able to be in that position where you can get the job, right? So you just basically, for some roles, say maybe you want to product management, and then you're saying maybe a requirement like you must be proficient in data, you should have a background in this, you should have a background in that, pretty much just knowing what the job requirements are for each of these different roles can also help you make informed decision on what paths to actually choose to get started in. And then you also want to check out the average salary for these different roles, right? It could also be a good determining factor, a good factor to help you decide on what career path you want to go for. So what's the average salary for this role? Again, money should not be like your biggest motivation, right? But it could also be one of the things that will fuel that's ginger in quotes, or just increase your morale, like so you mean it's possible for me to be able to earn this in this career path. It's a good enough motivation to make you want to stick and follow through with learning and being able to land a job. So I think the first thing you want to do if you're in a place where you're trying to decide on which path to go for is to do a comprehensive research. Like, you need to do a comprehensive research to be able to decide on what works best for you. And your research process would involve going online, checking out a lot of things online. There are discussion forums online as well that you can see people share their thoughts about different things. You could also talk to people, right? Interact with people that are already practicing, and just get to hear from them, right? On what are your suggestions based on these questions that I've highlighted, right? If you're able to answer these questions, it will be a lot easier for you to just streamline and be able to make that decision. So the next thing after you've done your research and you've probably found a path that you think works for you is something I always advise people, especially if you're just starting out. There's always that tendency of, jumping ships easily, right? I'm sure if you're watching this video, some people watching this video probably have experienced it. You've been there before. This month you're learning product design. 2 months later it gets too difficult in quotes, and then you say, oh, you know what? It's product management I want to do. You start the product management, you're maybe taking a course, and 3 months later we ask, okay, so what's up with the product management you're learning? And you're like, so I spoke with somebody and the person advised me to go into data science. And then you switch again to data science, and one thing you just realize is all of that time, right? 2 months you spent on product design, the 3 months you spent dabbling into product management, you spend another 2 months on data science. That's 7 months gone. If you had channeled that in learning one single skill, just focusing on one thing, it was that product design you started with, you dedicated that 7 months to learning it. Of course, you would have gone pretty far in terms of acquiring skills, right? So the first thing I always use to advise people is to pick a struggle, right? Just pick something, decide on something. That's why I say you should do extensive research, right? So it's better for you to, and this is not to say there's no possibility of you, starting something and then realizing, oh, this is not for me, I want to do something else. But the reality is you need to be sure that that is actually the reason why you're switching. One thing you need to have in mind is that there is no path in tech, there's no career path you want to pursue in tech that does not have its own complexities, right? So just picking that path, do your research, deciding on something you want to go with, and just following through with it would help you a lot, right? And how do you pick your struggle? How do you pick the career path that you'd want to go? So you could check your current skills, right? So the goal here is to try to connect your current skill or hobbies to your proposed career path. So I already talked about how it's possible for some of you already based on the current skills you have. Say you've done a bit of customer success, you've done a bit of marketing outside of tech, or you have like a background in graphics, so you can easily just pick up product design or UI UX, or you have some sort of leadership, operational management kind of experience and stuff, right? So based on like your current skills, some of like the experience, some of your hobbies, your interests, that could be something that you could look out for to be able to decide on what path is best for you. You could also go for passion, right? So it's also okay to choose a role because you believe the opportunities are better, even if you're not very passionate about it. So you could go for passion, right? Or you could also pick a path based on the fact that you've done your research, you've checked out the opportunities available in that path, and you just feel like, oh, this is what is best suited for me. There are a lot more opportunities in this path, so this is what's best suited for me. Or it could be a thing of passion, right? You probably just love the idea of working with numbers. You pretty much love the idea of making sense, refining data to be able to make sense, be able to make data-driven decisions from data, from large data sets, right? And it's just something you naturally have passion for, right? That could be something that could help you in deciding what path to go for. You could also check out like the learning path, right? Based on the research you've done. If you say that the learning path for this role is actually a bit more complicated, and you probably think, and this is not to encourage you to be lazy, right? But you know yourself. If you think the learning path for this thing looks too complicated for me, I don't think it's something that I can actually follow through with. And then you see something else that looks, actually, this looks interesting, this looks like something that I would be interested in, and the learning path seems a bit seamless. Why not? That could be something that could help you in deciding, right? It could also be a thing of, you see the learning path, you love how there's so many things. There are people like that. Like, there's so many things you need to learn, and it just pretty much interests you, right? Being able to challenge yourself, to commit to learning something, right? So checking out the learning path could also help you in picking the right path for you. And the final thing is just get started, right? No matter how it looks, you don't have to like figure out everything, oh, this is how I must learn, this is what I must cover, this is everything I must cover. Just decide on something and just get started. It's never too late. It's possible you're watching this video and you've been on this thing for a while. Oh, I want to go into tech, I want to start something. You said that 2 years ago, you said that last year, you're still saying it this year, and this is April already. Sorry, this is May already, right? So please just get started. Like, just start something, right? Immediately. Like, that's your major takeaway from this video. I'm happy, but you just need to start something, right? So the first thing we've talked about is doing your research. Then the next thing is pick your struggle, decide on a career path, and get started. Go for it, right? So now you've decided on the path you want to go with. What's the next thing to do? The next thing is to actually skill up, right? Get the required skills, get the needed skills for this particular path that you've picked. Of course, you've done your research, you already know all of the things that you need to learn, you've seen what the learning path is, but I've checked out some learning curriculums online as well, right? So you need to, this is where the hard work is, right? And I think one of the good things about tech is that a lot of jobs out there do not actually rely on your school certificates, right? Personally for me, I don't think I've actually applied to any job using my actual school certificate, right? Yeah, so a lot of jobs in tech, they don't actually require that, right? So the major things that people are looking out for, and that's why you'd see a lot of undergraduates are doing fine. Even folks now, I know a lot of folks now that don't want to go to college or university anymore because they've been able to acquire these skills. They already have decent jobs and they're seemingly doing well, right? So you need to dedicate time in acquiring the skills, right? So schooling doesn't assure employment, but skill does, right? So immediately you need to start learning. So first thing you need to figure out is what learning style works for you, right? Because I'm sure you probably, again, I know I'm speaking to a wide audience, different people that have had different experiences, but for some of us watching this video, it's been a case of you've actually attempted learning, but you're just not able to like follow through to the end, right? So I think the first thing you need to do is to figure out what learning style works for you, right? Think about your preferred way of learning. For example, do you prefer reading or watching videos or physical classes, right? For some people, they are more of the reading type. So give me a big textbook on Java and I'm going to learn on JavaScript and I'm going to read it up, right? For some people, they actually prefer videos, right? Let me just take, watch virtual videos or take videos online, attend virtual classes. For some, it's actually a physical class, like say there's like a physical boot camp they can join for like 3 months, 6 months. That's something that would actually help them in at least kick-starting their learning journey. And of course, you won't be able to learn everything you want to learn in like a physical boot camp, right? The reality is in tech, a lot of the learning is it depends on you, right? You still need to like spend a lot of time going back to do a lot of learning more and stuff, right? But at least to get started, right? So if it's a physical bootcamp that works for you, by all means go for it. If you're okay with virtual classes, actually enrolling into like a virtual school or a virtual bootcamp, that works. If it's just you using resources online or just taking online courses that works for you. Like, you know, it actually, you've done it before and it actually works for you. Or you could actually even test it out, right, to see that, oh, it works. And if it doesn't work for you, try something else. But the most important thing is you have the mindset that come rain, come sunshine, I'm not giving up, right? I'm not quitting this thing. Like, of course, have it prepared in your mind. Funny thing is, I think the first I wrote an article in 2017, right? Pretty much on, you know, getting started in I think that was, if you like, say you're learning coding, you're learning software engineering, and the title of that article was "Get Ready to Be Frustrated," because that's the reality when you're learning anything in tech. Actually, you'll always get to that point of, okay, this thing looks so difficult, this thing looks too complex, right? And you probably want to give up. But the catch is you're not giving up. So figure out what learning style works for you, right? The next thing is find resources, right? You're learning resources, so make sure you choose a resource that has some structure to it, right? So I think it's another mistake a lot of people make. Take, for example, you decide you want to learn front-end development, right? And then you decide you want to learn on YouTube. Of course, you can learn the entire thing like on YouTube, right? The most important thing is just find a resource that has structure. So you could go to like a free code camp. Yeah, they have like a full playlist that would help you learn front-end development, and then it's pretty much structured, so you're able to take it little by little, step by step. So it's not a case of, oh, you just randomly open HTML, you watch a few videos, say, you know what, you jump to JavaScript, you just go to another page, another channel, watch a few things on JavaScript, then you go to another channel, just watch Vue, then you now come back to CSS, and you know, your learning is just all over the place, right? It's advisable that you use a resource that is structured. So for boot camps as well, whether virtual or physical, right, of course they would have like a structured curriculum that can help you, right? So the most important thing is, so if you're learning by yourself, you're learning online, it's important that there's structure to your learning. You're following an actual curriculum, right? So that is one thing you need to take in mind, right? So don't just go all over the place, just, you know, anything in any video, any resource, anything. Have an actual plan, right? And another thing that I always advise is set goals for yourself. So it could be that, you know, I want to complete this entire track, maybe front-end development track, in 3 months, right? I mean, 3 months is quite should I say ambitious, right? So say you want to see everything that it takes, you know, from HTML, CSS, learning JavaScript, learning a framework, probably learning database management, how to use like things like MongoDB and the likes, right? Say in 3 months you have a plan, month 1, this is what I need to cover, month 2, month 3, and then you keep yourself accountable, right? So another hack that could work is, especially if you know you're the kind of person that self-learning is not it's not really your strongest suit, let me put it that way, right? You know, self-learning is not, so you could find an accountability partner. And it's something that I actually also do personally. Like, say I want to learn something, I'll just find someone else that I can look into it and just make sure, okay, we're going to learn this thing together, and then we can maybe meet weekly, we set targets for ourselves, we meet weekly, we're able to review what we've been able to cover and the likes, right? So you need to like be accountable to yourself. Remember, you've done your research, you know the possibility, you know the opportunities, you know the average salary, you know all of these things, that if you're just able to like commit yourself to it and follow through, you know what's on the other side for you, right? So just be accountable, make sure that you see that's I'm not giving up mentality. It has to be inside of you, right from the onset. So structure your learning, have a proper plan, proper curriculum, have timelines to your learning, 3 months, 6 months, space it out. If it's 1 year as well, just the most important thing is you are committed to it, and you always have that back of your mind where you are going to. So now the next thing, you've of course been able to acquire skills, you've been able to, you know, take courses online, attend a boot camp, you know, pretty much acquire the skills, right? The next thing you want to put into consideration is, how do you gather it? How do we know that you've actually learned that skill, right? Because now you're learning the skill, you're acquiring the skills. The next thing would actually be, okay, I've learned this thing, how do I now get the job, right? But to get the job, there has to be evidence that you've actually acquired the skills and you can actually get the job done, right? So how do you do this? Is by, you know, putting together your portfolio, I mean, whatever that would look like, right? So portfolio, your resume and the likes, right? So first thing you want to do is, you know, you want to know what like the best for each field that you're into, right? What are the best practices? So you're a product, or you're learning product design, you've done like 6 months, committed 6 months to learning it, right? Even during your learning process, you want to already start thinking about, well, how do I start putting together my portfolio? How do I start putting together evidences of, you know, things and projects that I've worked on, right? So that's why it's also important that your learning is not just you storing things up. It's project based, right? So you're learning, you're putting into practice what you're learning, right? With the mindset that to be able to get a job, there needs to be evidence of things that I've been able to work on, things that actually proves that, oh, I really actually got this skill, I really took out time to learn this skill, and this is evidence that I can actually apply whatever things I've learned so far, no matter how. I mean, you don't need to have gone for like 2 years of learning or 3, even if it's like your 6 months of full dedication, right? You could have significant output from that. So you want to check out what are the best practices, what are the ways, what are like the best portfolios, what do they look like, and based on that, so even while you're learning, you already have, you go, okay, so this is how folks structure their portfolio, this is how folks structure their resume. So what and what do I need to do? What kind of projects do I need to work on while I'm learning to be able to have this kind of standard portfolio, right? So you want to make sure you have quality projects in your portfolio, like real quality projects in your portfolio. So that's one thing you want to have in mind while you're learning, while you're in that process of scaling up, right? So whatever things that you think, projects that you think are good enough evidences to show that you've learned, right, is something you want to start putting together. Okay, so yeah, in the points where you've learned, you've acquired the skills, you've been able to put together your portfolio or resume, like you already have evidence that, okay, I've actually applied myself into learning this thing. I already have projects that I've worked on. So the next question on your mind is probably, okay, so how do I now get my first job? How do I get my first gig? How do I get my first paid employment or unpaid employment, as the case may be? But pretty much, how do I get to be able to work with a proper organization to be able to now apply some of these things that I've learned and also learn more, so that I mean, something like just kickstart my career in tech, right? So that's probably like the next question on your mind. Before we actually talk about how to actually, or where you would actually find these jobs, we want to talk about some of the things that you could do to position yourself to be able to find this job. So the first thing is networking. I know you probably might be sounding like motivational talk at this point, but it's not, right? Networking is very important, especially if you're just starting out in your career. So you need to grow your network. I'll just classify like people that I would say it's important for you to try to like connect with, to like grow your network. I'd say mentors, role models, and your peers, right? So for mentors, I'll probably say a mentor could be someone that it's possible for you to have like a direct relationship with, right? And it's actually something that would actually help you even during your learning journey, right? Someone that's, I talked about being accountable, right? So having a mentor or someone that you're actually giving regular updates and the likes. And for your mentor, of course, your mentor has to be someone that is already in that field, right? Or it's better, let me put it that way, that your mentor is someone that's already in that field. So I mean, you want to connect, you want to grow your network, having a mentor or mentors, right? You want to have role models, right? I think this one was actually something that really helped me starting out, right? So role models for me, but people like, I probably do not have maybe direct, I probably even know them, right? But maybe not like that direct relationship with. But I was able to see like, oh, this is this person's career progression, right? And I actually admire it, right? And it looks like something that I probably would want to maybe pattern my career around, right? So there are people like that. So probably on LinkedIn, on Twitter, you just see this person. Oh, you've been able to follow, or you can see like this person's career progression. You understand how the person started, and you see where the person is at now, right? And that way, it also gives you that sense of possibility. It shows, or it signifies possibilities, right? You could actually say that, okay, this person actually started pretty much the same way I'm starting right now, and this is how this person has been able to grow over the years. And somewhere, what that does to your subconscious is just helps you know that, look, it's possible. I can actually also attain this, right? So having role models, people that you can look up to, you should actually connect with them, right? They don't necessarily have to be people that you interact with. Connecting with them might just be connecting on social media and just following and saying, or observing them, right? So that way you're able to like just learn indirectly from them. And then you want to connect with your peers, right? You probably have people that you guys are probably learning, or you're on the same stage, like currently just trying to learn or figure out your way in tech, or you guys are actually already in tech, but of course, nobody wants to remain in the same position or in the same spot forever, right? So all of those your peers, where you guys are pretty much like the same group, you need to actually connect with them, network with people. You really don't know who is going to plug you to your next big thing, right? So networking is actually very important. Another key way you can actually grow your network in tech is through communities, right? So that's another beautiful thing about tech. There are tons and tons of communities out there that you could be a part of. We have communities that cut across different paths, right? Say off the top of my mind, I don't know every one of them, right? I know for developers, the Google developer group is one of the biggest communities, and the interesting thing is they have local communities, right? That you can just, based on your location, so you're in Lagos, there's GDG Lagos, or you're just based on you could just go online and you'll be able to find these communities, right? For design, I know there are tons and tons of communities for designers, for product management. We have communities like people in product, and they're just these communities. And the most important thing is, or one thing that's being part of communities help you do is, aside from the fact that you're growing your network, you're also able to interact with other people that are across different levels. So you have people that have gone ahead of you, they're probably like stages ahead of you in terms of like, the career progression. You have people that, you guys are probably on the same stage that you can interact with. You also even have people that are probably behind you, right? Probably at the point where, you've learned, you've acquired skills, you're probably in your first job and you're just looking for how to like, scale up, right? And then there are people that are just starting out that you could actually also, mentor and just, impact, right? So being part of communities also helps you interact. You're able to like, ask questions, you're not clear on some things, you want to learn things, new resources. You also need to like meet people. Opportunities come out a lot from, communities. Someone on the community has an opening. Oh, I'm looking for a junior developer. I'm working on a project. I need an entry-level developer. And then because you're a part of the community, not just a part of the community, an active member in the community, it's very easy for you to be able to like, access such opportunities. So communities, please, as much as you can, try to be part of communities. Another thing you want to do, right, in positioning yourself to be able to get this job is to make noise. You're probably wondering, what do I mean by make noise, right? Basically what I'm just trying to say is you need to put yourself out there, like right from when you're learning, right, from your month 1, month 2, month 3, like you want to put yourself out there, right? Like just build in public. How do you build in public? Right, put up articles, right? You could even articles as simple as, say your journey starting out in tech, just write something about it. Or say you do like or you learn something, right? You learn a concept and then you write an article on it to like just explain the concept, and it could be helpful for someone else that is probably learning. And just putting yourself out there, you're writing, you're publishing articles all through your learning journey, and people are seeing it, right? You're literally in people's faces. It helps a lot, right? Social media as well, right? Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, you want to put one out there. There's like this 100 days challenge that a lot of people do a lot of times when starting out, right? Say 100 days of coding, right? And first of all, you're putting this out there, you're maybe tweeting every day 1, this is what I did, this is what I learned, this is what I worked on, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 100. And then people are actually saying it. Your tweets are getting retweeted, people are engaging with it, and you're just becoming top of mind for people. Like someone, I just know that, there's this person I'm always seeing content from this person, and this person is learning. Like somehow in my head it's telling me that this person is really passionate about this thing, right? And if for any instance I have an opportunity, because I'm always seeing this person's stuff, because this person is building in public, this person is top of mind, I'll most likely want to like channel it to this person. And because I'm also saying like this person to actually stay committed to building in public, putting things out there, it shows some level of passion, right? Which is very important. So that could also make me want to like, let me just push it to this person, right? So also, if you have like opportunities to speak, share your journey, share your experience, pretty much your success stories as well, put it out there, right? You hit a milestone in your learning, you complete a certification, you complete a course, put it out there. I think it was recently there was like this debate on Twitter about how most of the people getting like should I say the best gigs are not necessarily like the most skillful people, right? Of course, it was just like a debate on Twitter. They're not necessarily like the most skillful people, but they are more of the people that are in everybody's faces, they're in employers' faces, they're in, just building in public also helps you grow your network, right? Helps you just be top of mind for people. So for some of us, you're probably like, oh, I'm shy, posting is not really my thing. But if you can make it your thing, it's something that I would advise. It has worked for tons and tons of people, and it would most likely work for you as well, right? So yeah, we've learned, how to position yourself for the job. So now next thing is, okay, can we get to the part where you talk about how do we get this job, right? So to go get the job, to go get, basically what you need to do is to shoot your shots. You know what? Scratch that. Not shoot your shot. You need to spray. You need to spray your shot. Shooting is like you're just aiming and just shooting at one place. Now spray, right? So I don't know where I heard this quote, but you lose 100% of the shots you do not shoot, right? So how do you spray your shots? You just have to apply everywhere. See, starting out in tech, there's like this level. It's until you hear people's story, right? Of course, again, there's not one cap fits all for everybody. For some people, it was just very easy peasy, and they were able to like get in, get started, right? But for majority of people, right, there's this level of desire and aggressiveness that comes with them, especially when you're trying to like get your first job, right? So you need to apply everywhere. Where are you going to see these jobs to apply? Referrals, right? And that's one of the things like networking, building in public helps you with. People know you, so it's very easy for me to refer you, right? I'm always seeing you talk about, how you're learning, the skills you're acquiring, the things you're doing. If I see an opportunity, you're already top of mind, so I'm going to what's like it's very easy for me to refer you, right? And the more your network grows, the more you have more people who are more likely to refer you, right? So referrals very important. Let everybody know you're looking for a job. Yeah, so I just put one out there, right? You're open to work. So, and again, the larger your network, the larger the possibility of having people to refer you. You can go on LinkedIn as well, right? That of course jobs are always posted on LinkedIn. You can streamline your search to match, especially if you're like entry level, junior, just look for those kind of roles. There are job boards as well. There are websites where you can, search and find jobs. Family and friends as well, right? Yeah, I mean, similar to referrals. Let your family, let your friends, let's just don't be shy about it. Let people know that you're at that point where you're open to an employment or an internship or whatever the case may be, right? Communities as well. I've talked extensively on communities. So a lot of these communities actually like post opportunities and all, right? It would also be easier for you to probably reach out. Say someone posts an opportunity on the community, or you would have a leverage if you're an active member of the community, because it just means the person is seeing you engage stuff within the community, and again you're top of mind, so it's easier for the person to be drawn towards you, right? And then cold outreach. You see this cold outreach, this is one hack that I think my first two jobs I actually got them through cold outreach. I didn't know anybody personally in any of the companies. I did not. Basically what I just did was connected with like the people that I know are relevant to the role I'm going for, and just sent cold messages to them on LinkedIn, right? So cold messages pretty much, those messages like, oh, hi, I'm this, to someone you don't know before, trying to like pitch yourself to like get something from them, right? That's pretty much what cold messages are. So this is I think one advice I used to give, because so yeah, again I said there's like this desire and aggressiveness actually comes with it, right? To be able to like get the best. A lot of things does not come easy, but the good thing about tech is once you're able to hack and get your first job, it's most times like just an upward spiral from there. It's easier to like just transcend and just keep going and keep going and keep going, right? Well, getting that first job requires some level of aggressiveness, for lack of a better word. So basically one thing I always suggest to people is, especially for cold outreach, is actually a very effective way to like get your first job, first gig or internship, right? So put together a list of 20 to 50 companies or startups, right? Especially if it's your first job, I usually recommend startups, right? And already, we talked about you putting together like a decent world-class portfolio based on best practices. You've seen what other people are doing out there, so you put together like a very interesting portfolio. There's traces of your learning journey online, because you're putting yourself out there, you're building in public, right? We've talked about all of these things, right? So you could easily just put together like a list of 20, 50 startups, companies. Say you're interested in product management, you try to connect with, it's a lot of work, but try to connect with the existing product managers in the team, some of the C-suite guys, CEOs and like the HR people. Connect with them and just send. I mean, you don't have to do this for 20 companies or 50 companies, whichever. It depends on how much capacity you think you have to do that, right? So just put together like a convincing message, right? Introducing yourself, introducing your journey, and also letting them know. So here's the catch: you're not just pitching yourself. You want them to know. That's what I'm saying, especially for like the C-suite guy. If you're maybe reaching out to like the CEO of a startup, right? You want to have done your research about that startup. So included or embedded in your message is a reason why you actually love the startup, you love the products they're building, and what value you think you'll be able to bring to the team, right? So you want them to say that beyond you just trying to pitch yourself, you actually have some level of interest in their company, in what they're doing, you're passionate about what they're doing. And so that way your cold email is a bit more convincing, right? So you want to like just shoot your shot to as many people, as many places as you can, right? So I have something written here. Like, if this is your first job, make sure you apply to all kind of companies, big, small, and every industry, right? So find and research companies you like, but don't stop there. Just because you haven't heard of a particular company doesn't mean they are not deserving of your time. Again, for your first job, it's advisable that just try to. I know for some of us, probably just it's only like a big Series C company and above. I can't work for an early stage or seed stage or pre-seed stage company, right? But if I'm to give an honest advice, I'd say you should probably just explore or go for it. I mean, especially for like if it's your first job, right? And then another thing you want to know is that Rejection is real, rejection is normal. So yeah, I know I've advised you to like spray your shots, talk to people, send cold emails and the likes, right? But you also need to know that rejection is real. You see a lot of your tech bros or techies that you love and that you look up to, and you're like, this person looks like they're doing very well for themselves. But if they tell you their rejection stories, so I know people that probably have applied to like over 100 jobs before they will get one single job, right? In fact, like established tech bros that you just look at. So one thing you need to have at the back of your mind is that rejection is real, rejection is normal, right? In Nigeria we say breakfast is my national cake, you go touch everybody. So it's pretty normal, right? So most important thing is you get your rejection. Yeah. I mean, it hurts. So everybody has experienced it. Trust me, everybody has experienced it. So it hurts, but you wouldn't let it stop you from pursuing what you're interested in. So basically, you get the rejection, you rinse, you repeat, you go again, and keep spraying those shots, right? So basically, you just want to learn from rejections. No improvements you need to do, right? If it's possible, say maybe you were able to like start the interview, and somewhere down the line you weren't able to get the role. Maybe you want to get like feedback, and that way you're able to see like areas where which you can improve, right? So better position yourself for your job, right? So on the final note, one thing that you need to keep in mind is that consistency is what would sustain you in your career in tech. Consistency, right? So don't stop learning. You should never ever get to a point where you stop learning. Don't stop learning. It is always day zero, right? So it's always different. There's always been, because there's always been a lot of technological advancements. You want to progress in your career, so there will always be new things that you need to learn, new skills you need to acquire, right, to be able to position yourself and to be able to stand out, right? So consistency is very important. Each new day is an opportunity to be world class. So yeah, this is what I'm going to draw the curtain of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section. I would be more than excited to answer your questions. If there are any videos or any topics you want me to touch on, particularly around tech, building or starting your career in tech, if there are any topics or anything that you think I'll be able to cover in this video, please drop them in the comment section. And please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers in the next 30 days. So yeah, please make it happen. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like, comment and share this video. If you know anybody that is starting out or is about to start out or is already in tech and is just looking to scale up, please share this video with them. Thank you for watching. Bye.